Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Today is the 10th of January of our Lord 2025. Welcome to yet another edition of the Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Hinkle, aka Motown Noah. Technically, usually how this goes is, I haven't seen you guys since Monday. I saw some of you guys on Wednesday, had a nice little bonus episode. Never done 3 episodes in a week before, I don't think, here at the Coping Hour. So starting off 2025 with a bang. Reception on that was good. It was good. So at some point this month, we'll bang out another bonus episode or two. I appreciate all the feedback on that. I know it was sort of a really hope you had your seatbelts on the whole time, because I feel like we kind of yanked around the conversation a lot, which I think is a me problem, because it was just weird to have somebody else in the space when I'm just like doing my thing. And so the way that I sort of tangentially jump around to all these, you throw somebody in the mix and then it suddenly becomes like what are we talking about? But regardless, we'll do another one of those. Put a little bonus episode up in the middle of the week. It's an exciting day. It's an exciting day here at the program, because we're going to be doing something that we've only ever done one time, but is A, definitely my favorite thing to do, even though we've only done it once, and B, something that we're going to be talking about all year. We're going to be talking about it all year, referencing back to this day. I need to choose my words very carefully in case we need to review the footage on anything that I say. Folks, if you're new around here, we are going to be doing the 2025 Motown Noah. I was on such a roll. The 2025 Motown Noah bingo sheet, where we just put up a bunch of shots and we figure out what's going to happen this year. Last year, we did get a bingo. We got a bingo. I think we netted that October, maybe the beginning, somewhere in October is when we got our bingo. So it only took 10 months. In total, we went 8 for 24. This year, we're hoping that we get 10. Now, I don't know. Well, first, I guess I should say this is going to be a visual thing. I will do everything that I can to explain everything and say it out loud. But, I guess it's not technically visual. I can just put it up on the screen. It'll be fine. Shut up, Nick. Just do the thing. What I was going to say is I'm worried that this is going to take a long time. I'm worried that I'm going to spend the whole fucking hour doing this thing. So I need to hold myself accountable, but I also need to explain a lot of these. All right? I don't need to keep explaining stuff. All right. Without further ado, the 2025 Motown Noah bingo sheet. Future Nick, go ahead and put it up on the screen. So up first, we mentioned that we are going to have some repeating characters on this card. Yeah, someone famous dies. We're going to lead with that again. If you guys want me to, Nick, call a shot. This counts for everybody. This is a very nebulous square. But if I had to say somebody, King Charles, what's the cancer update on him? They say he's going international again this year. That there's no plans yet to meet with Trump, but he will be abroad. He'll get on a plane. All right, but he's still doing cancer treatments. So, okay, we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. But keep an eye on King Charles. I don't want to say this, but Lee Corso, it could happen this year. Is there a better year for that? Well, hold on, Nick. Because you like Lee Corso, but you know what I mean? Somebody famous is going to die this year. Up next, GTA 6 surpasses $1 billion in under 24 hours. Now, this is contingent on GTA 6 actually releasing in 2025, which has been the timeline laid out to us. Not only has Rockstar been consistent with that timeline, they've been enthusiastic about that timeline. They feel very good that this game will release at some point in 2025. Matter of fact, just to add to it, don't be surprised if we get a trailer. Holy shit, could you imagine if they do a Super Bowl commercial? Imagine, oh my God, Rockstar shells out the money. That's fucking peanuts to them. The ad space during Super Bowl Sunday, that's fucking nuts, a drop in the bucket to Rockstar. With how much they've made on GTA 5 online alone. Fucking shark cards and shit. Super Bowl ad could buy the whole damn game if they want. Rockstar, they could buy the whole game. Do a Super Bowl ad for a new trailer for GTA 6 with a release date. Are we you know what I mean? We have no idea what the timeline is for that game. But again, all signs are pointing that it's going to happen. So the second piece of this is under 24 hours. Has to be under 24 hours. GTA 5 surpassed 1 billion globally in 3 days. It took the game 3 days, which is crazy. But GTA 6 is like the only other thing that will even come close to rivaling this will be when the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. At some point between now and 2030, maybe, if we're lucky. Who knows at this point? That's a timeline that talk about, not fucking timelines and not knowing one way or another. No idea. We have literally zero idea. That's the only competition. GTA 6 is going to fucking do numbers that we may never see again. I mean, until like GTA 7 comes out or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be bizarre. I don't think a billion... This feels... If the game releases this year, this feels like a gimme, almost. This kind of feels easy, which we want to put some easy ones on here. Just a handful of them, like Someone Famous Dies. But is it almost too easy? Because the second that game gets confirmed, I don't know. We'll see. But again, see, here we go. I'm spending too much time on shit. On to the next one. New Wes Anderson movie debuts at 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. That means the first score that we have to do an aggregate of like the first 10 critic reviews after it premieres at, or rather debuts at a Cannes or a TIFF or something. It's at some film festival. You see it. Critics are putting their reviews in Rotten Tomatoes. First 10 aggregated, 95% is what it has to be. Don't know when that one's coming out, but it should be this year. I said to Maddie the other day, I go, we should be due for a new Wes Anderson. Asteroid City was a couple, like 2 years ago at this point. Like, where's the new? And then I Googled it. What is it called? The Phonosonic. No. Not Phonosonic. It's the Phoenician something. 95% from Wes Anderson. Up next, the front line in Ukraine freezes. So all that I mean by this is agreement is reached. And hey, I don't know. Trump seems like he's got a nice big plan to end the war within 24 hours of him getting inaugurated, which as of this taping is in 11 days. I think it's on the 20th. So by the time you're hearing this, a week and a half, in 10 days. The war in Ukraine is going to be over in 11 days then. When you're hearing this, okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. That might happen immediately. We'll ceasefire. Russia gets a piece of eastern Ukraine. They keep Crimea because Ukraine can't do dick or balls with that. That whole thing that's just Russia's. And so, like, what is it? Like the Donbass and Donetsk and fucking what else would be in there? Mariupol. What's going on with that? But then, well, hold on, because Ukraine is in Kursk. So how does that work? But that's not the front. But that's the opposite. It's the back of the front. It's the reverse front. Because it's like, hold on. Because that's Russia's front. That's on Russia's territory. So how the fuck does this work? It's going to get frozen. Up next, Kendrick Lamar brings Pusha-T on stage at the Super Bowl. I feel like this Super Bowl performance at halftime for Kendrick Lamar is very much like when Ryan Gosling did the Oscars and then he did SNL. And he did I'm Just Ken at the Oscars, and then he did SNL, and he made a whole thing about being Ken. That was kind of like the end of him doing the Ken thing. We had been seeing it for like 8 fucking months. We were like, all right, it was always great. It was always funny. It was always charming. But it could have gotten old really quick, and he knew when to just like stop doing it. And it was like a little under a year. I think Kendrick should or is going to or could. Let's cover all the bases here. Something could happen where he's like, this is my moment to, at one last time, be like, fuck you, Drake. And then after that, like, whatever. Right? No round twos. So, like, fuck you, I'm doing the Super Bowl. You bring out Pusha-T to do, from like 10 years ago, it's called Nostalgia, a song that they had together. You do that. You do fucking Not Like Us. You say pedophiles on fucking national, global television during the Super Bowl. You say certified pedophiles. Everybody's going to lose their mind. Say OV ho like one time. People are going to lose their minds. Do one last victory lap and fuck off. Not like fuck off, but like, all right, it's over. Because it's been almost a year. We get it. You won. Bring out Pusha T and Sealed and Signed. She's not my lover. Not my lover like Billie Jean, but the kid is mine. This thing is raps. On to the next one. Aaron Rodgers comes out of the closet. Just fucking get it over with, brother. Just do it. It's okay. We're here for you. A12, not A12. A8 does not sound nearly as cool. By the way, this only happens. The only way that Aaron Rodgers comes out of the closet in 2025 is if he retires. I don't think that if he takes snaps for an NFL team next year, whether it be the Jets or otherwise, that he will come out of the closet and we'll have to roll this over into 2026. But like, brother, it's cool. We're here for you. We're 15 years removed from him living with that fucking twink and him being like, going on Twitter, having like a public meltdown, being like, Aaron Rodgers is a fucking asshole. I'm also his roommate, by the way. What the fuck? Aaron Rodgers, like, very famously doesn't talk to his family. I don't know. Maybe he's the whole time he's gonna take off Aaron Rodgers will be doing his retirement speech, and he's gonna take off a Scooby-Doo mask of himself, of present day Aaron Rodgers as we know him, and underneath is just Aaron Rodgers in like drag, and there's like fucking tail feathers and shit flying everywhere. He's like, I've been gay the whole time. It's like a Wired autocomplete Reddit undercover. It's actually me, but I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I've been gay this entire time. I saw what you guys did to Michael Sam. I knew that my talent wouldn't matter. Guy won the fucking SEC Defensive Player of the Year. But then he was like, I'm gay, by the way. NFL teams were like, oh my God, holy shit. Hit the showers, rest of the team. But you fucking guy, fuck off. What? Who was the kid that played for the Raiders? Was it Carl Nassib? Was it Ryan Nassib or Carl Nassib? I always get them confused. One of them was a quarterback. Did they both play at Syracuse? I don't remember. One of them was a quarterback. The one who played defense retired and then snuck in there at the end. He's like, by the way, I'm gay as fuck. I've been gay the whole time. But he got out. He was like, I had a good career. And then I didn't tell anybody I was gay. And then at the end, I turned out to be gay the whole time. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Just come out, brother. Up next on the 2025 Motown Noah bingo sheet, Devin Booker becomes a Detroit Piston. I'm calling my shot. It's time. I have been, Jacob, a.k.a. Rusty Bucket, said something while we were taping the shoot around the other day. Because I started to bring up the Devin Booker thing. And I stopped myself and was like, man, I don't need to say this for the 10,000th time. That he's just going to be a Piston. And Jacob said, at this point, it's already like in my head canon that he's going to be a Piston someday because you just say it so fucking much. And that meant a lot to me because it meant that my vocal repetition of that take it comes through. It's conveyed. And if I can do that by saying it half as much as I think about it, then you know what I mean? Then I think I've done my job. Shit's weird with the Suns. They were 8-1, 9-1, 8-2, something like that. They were good to start the year. And then since they've been 16 and fucking 19, they're 12th in the West as of this taping. The big three, holy shit, it hasn't worked? Whoa, what do you mean? Matt Ishbia, what do you mean this didn't work? You can't do the big three thing anymore with 3 guys. You can't just get 3 really fucking good players and that's it. And that's it. Bradley Beal gets moved to the bench. Saw something about Devin Booker getting traded to the Spurs. I'll fucking throw up. You'll never see me again. You will never see me again. Put this in the bingo sheet. If anybody other than Detroit trades for Devin Booker, you'll never fucking see me again. If it happens on a Wednesday and you're like, can't wait for the Friday episode, it's not going to fucking be there. And then you're like, he just needs to get over it. Just give him the weekend. He'll be back on Monday. You're not going to fucking see me. I'm telling you right now. Any of the 28 other teams in the league, it is between Phoenix and it is between Detroit. I've been working myself up in a damn frenzy. Okay, what if Matt Ishbia hasn't learned his lesson and he goes and gets Jimmy Butler? He's like, we'll trade somebody out of this big three. We'll swap them for Jimmy Butler. Chill for a second. Chill. Pat Riley, chill the fuck out. Get Trajan Langdon on the phone. We can be the third team. I think there's something weird with Phoenix and where they are with the second apron. That boogeyman. Haven't heard from the second apron in a while. Holy shit. Jump scare. The second apron. Haven't fucking heard from them in forever. Where they their salary that they can take on is busted. I don't know if they can take anything. I don't know. I also know that Detroit, I don't think I still believe we are under the, hey, you can't trade a pick until a pick that you owe to somebody actually conveys. I think the pick is owed to Minnesota for this year, and it's lottery protected. So if we just make the fucking playoffs, we win the play and we get in the playoffs, then that our pick would go to, well, no, shut up, Nick. You have to, I'm completely losing myself. Get back to the Devin Booker thing. Shit, I was talking about the picks. The picks and how we would even make the Devin Booker thing work. I don't fucking know. Because I don't know who we have to send where. We can't give Phoenix, anything valuable capital-wise. I guess, contracts. Devin Booker makes, $50 million. The Pistons don't have that many guys making that much money. Okay, you're putting in Stu. He's locked in for, 15. Okay, Tim Hardaway, he's what, upwards of 20? He's somewhere in the maybe high teens, low 20s, somewhere in there. Okay. You just can't trade Tobias. It just can't happen. You throw Tech in there? You throwing Simone Fontecchio in there? Because Phoenix is going to need depth. That's what they're going to want. And then also Jimmy Butler. The Fontecchio thing is weird. I thought maybe we got sold a packet of magic beans at the beginning of the season with him. I was like, wait, so he was awesome last year and we planted his seeds and we watered him, a.k.a. signing him to a fucking lucrative contract? He starts the season, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is he? Derogatory. Who is this guy, parenthetically derogatory? What the fuck is this? Actually played pretty well the last few games. Some dudes on the team have, adopted Italian fingers as, he hits a three, he does something cool. Tech does something cool. They're like, hey, and they throw the fucking fingers up. That's cool. It's cool to see Italians thriving in the NBA, and it's a whole new medium for them. Not that many Italians play in the NBA. It's this is reverse Italian hate. Italians are always oh, people are racist to Italians, and nobody talks about the racism to Italians. What would that look like in America? Stop Italian hate. The hashtag is hey, cut it out. Who's the spokesperson for Stop Italian Hate? It's Mike Greenberg. Is he Italian? No, Mike Golick is the Italian one. Yeah, he's the Italian one. That's not funny. Someone who's not Italian. It's Stephen A. Smith. He's hey, no, I'm butchering. Fuck, I had such a good joke and I did not land the fucking plane. That joke was literally the plane in South Korea. And I hit a fucking wall. What a terrifying video that was, by the way. Just as a sidebar. Holy shit. Not that funny, that joke was pretty good, actually. But that was not funny. 2 people lived from that, and they were in the very back of the plane. Back to the 2025 Moton Noah bingo sheet, ladies and gentlemen. Devin Booker's going to be a Piston, by the way. Okay. Japan suffers an 8.6 magnitude earthquake. Yeah, it just kind of felt like it had been a while since anything bad had happened to Japan. And I don't mean to say that it's about damn time something fucking bad happens to Japan. I don't mean like that. I just mean what's the last thing that happened in Japan where they were whoa, hope the Japanese populace is doing chill after that, because that sucked. I don't know, maybe when a guy made a fucking blundergat out of a paperclip and a pipe cleaner and killed Shinzo Abe. Didn't the incels of Japan fucking celebrate that? Weren't they yes? Because I think Shinzo hated incels, or was it that he hated porn or that he hated incels? Because it talk about it can't be both. It cannot be both that he hated incels and hated porn. Well, no, that wouldn't work. Plus, I think that Japan is if you look at a heat map, if it was a shot chart of the world. But in terms of where earthquakes happen, where are earthquakes pulling up from in the world? Japan is that's the hot spot. That's if an earthquake finds itself in Japan, it has the green light. You can fucking get this shit up. It always happens in Japan. The tsunami happened early 2010s. I don't know, 2011, 22, somewhere between 2011 and 2013, that tsunami in Japan happened. Well, okay, so maybe the take is that it's a tsunami. There's a natural disaster in Japan because the earthquake could happen in the ocean. It could happen in the Pacific. And then it's a tsunami, because that's what I'm thinking of with the early 2010s, the whatever happened there. I think it was an earthquake in the ocean, and that caused the tsunami, and that's what fucked up Japan. I think that's what it was. As long as it's not like a nuclear attack, something bad is gonna happen to Japan. If it's a nuclear attack, we'll just take this off the list, we'll chill out, and we'll just reflect. Up next, another president dies. Jimmy Carter just died. He's 100 years old. I don't know. Bill Clinton just got pneumonia and went to the hospital. George Bush, pretty low key, actually. We just don't hear from him that much. Probably just at his ranch, like painting. Like, I could do the thing, I don't know. Maybe he's fighting something. We just don't know about it. No, I don't think the president could like hide the fact that he has something terminal. I think he's just painting. But who knows? He's old. Donald Trump is 1,000,000 years old and spent 45 years being addicted to amphetamines and has the diet of a construction worker. Poops his pants. I don't know. Probably not him. Biden? Just do a mental exercise. It's August 9th. Oh, fuck. Preseason football coming on pretty soon. We've got the Hall of Fame game. Hell yeah. If you're anywhere else in the world. Oh, Premier League coming back. Got some exhibitions. And then you get a bzz, bzz. Joe Biden dead at 80 whatever. Your first reaction is like, whoa, damn. But not like, whoa. Not like people would be less surprised by Joe Biden dying than they were by Jimmy Carter dying, and he was 100 fucking years old. Maybe him. Who else is there? Oh, yeah, Obama? That guy's not dying. Talk about a motherfucker who's never going to die. Ever. Barack Obama will literally never die. If you want to, holy shit, that person just died. I don't think there's anybody in the world that I would react, well, like LeBron. And I don't really want to bring this up, but, the obvious one, Kobe. Yeah, LeBron. But like, oh, Michael Jordan dead. I'd be like, whoa. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't come up here and do an hour on it. Matter of fact, I would probably just like not say anything. Because I would say something dumb. And so if Michael Jordan dies this year, don't come to me. I'm not going to be here. God forbid a team other than Detroit trades for Devin Booker on the same day that Michael Jordan dies. Talk about never seeing me again. I'm going to end up on the fucking news. Holy shit. Michael Jordan, please don't die. And if you... All right, stop. Shut up. Obama dying would blow my fucking mind. Another president's going to die this year, folks. LeBron announces that the 2025-2026 season will be his final in the NBA. This might be a layup. I really feel it. People they've kind of stopped doing it, but at the beginning of this year, in the midst of all the Bronny stuff, and once that finally, the bubble burst on that, okay, finally, it happened, the lid got blown off, Bronny played with his dad, cool, now this fucking sideshow is done. Which was, again, I said at the time, good for JJ Redick for just getting that out of the way. That was really smart of him. It's just not a distraction. It's out of the way. We fucking saw it. And then now go down to the G League and do shit. Well, people were like, okay, now LeBron's like done everything. He's just done everything. So is this going to be it? It's just not. LeBron is going to make it known. Don't be like, dog, by the end of this year, remember when Coach K announced his retirement like a year and a half in advance so that everybody had the absolute most amount of time to get together their, oh, Coach K, thanks, gift for when Duke went and played them, right? LeBron's going to do the same shit. By the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised. Fucking exit interviews, he's like, yeah, next year's going to be my last. I can tell you that right now. Some shit like that. Or it'll be right before, it's going to be a whole season thing. It's going to be a whole parade for LeBron, the whole season. And it should be. As I said that, it was kind of like, obviously, dude, but I know that it's going to, you look ahead on the timeline, how tired people are going to get of that. as it's happening live, because it's going to be so saturated, right? And the takes are going to dry up. The fucking well is going to be like SpongeBob when he didn't have, did he not have, oh, right, he didn't have water because he was in Sandy's house, right? How the fuck did Sandy not explode? Because I'm thinking about it like it's a pressure thing and she lives in a glass dome. How did she not, like, how is her shit not like the Titanic submarine? Like, for real. How did Sandy Cheeks live at the bottom of the ocean? She's not in the trench, but, like, she's... Also, they're in the Pacific. Why were there... I don't think there was ever an earthquake episode of SpongeBob. If there was, it was, like, post-2012, 2013, and so those episodes aren't even fucking real. What the animation, once it hit a certain point, it was like, what is it? And there were like certain like realism, like versions of the characters that like with their fucking faces and shit. It just bothered me. It's just like, I don't know how to articulate what I'm talking about. No fucking earthquakes in SpongeBob. What the hell? I'm thinking of an episode where maybe SpongeBob is like he's in the middle of getting his boating license. It's New Year's Eve and he wants to get it before midnight because it was his New Year's resolution. And as he's with Mrs. Puff, he's been training. She's sweating her fucking nuts off. It's going well. If he makes like one more turn to get back to like boating school and get into the parking lot, he's got his boating license before midnight. The clock's ticking though. About 5 minutes left. 7.7 strikes Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob veers down the road, crashing into 10 people. On a street celebrating, a fuck of people celebrating on the street during New Year's Eve. That's an episode. And then it like cuts it 2 hours later. And it's SpongeBob being like, shouldn't have done that. I guess I'll do it next year. And then Gary slimes onto the screen. He's like, meow. And then there's the fucking ukulele. And then it's roll credits. Up next on the 2025 Motown Noah bingo sheet, Angelina Jolie has another moment. Divorce officially final with Brad Pitt. Didn't she get a ton of money? Did I see 80 million? 82 million maybe? Seemed like she got a good chunk of change. One of my favorite things about modern day internet is that we can la to stories that we don't want to see. If you want blinders on, you can have them on. There are so many alternative sources of information that you develop a good barometer of which ones to ignore and which ones to consume. I chose to ignore. I am realizing how this is about to sound. So let me, on the fly, tweak it. I'm just going to say it, and then we're going to tweak it as we go. So you know where I'm starting from. I chose to be like, oh, Brad Pitt abused the fuck out of his family. He's Brad Pitt. Okay. He literally did Fury. Have you seen Inglourious Bastard? The hell? Up next, military presence on an Ivy League campus. I mean, come on. Layup. Got on the fast break. I'm doing what Zion did the other night on a military presence on an Ivy League campus. I'm doing what Zion did, the 360 like windmill that he did. Everybody, oh my God, Reddit, it fucking explodes. Zion's back. Holy shit, Zion's back. The next night, DNP. Whoops. Pels fans are gonna, they were just resting him because maybe it was a back-to-back or something. He just came back from an injury. Whoops. Still out. Still optically very funny. But yeah, I mean, Trump coming back into office, protesters are going to be a little bit more riled up. I think just because we experienced something with the police and those who would consider themselves part of a certain resistance under Trump's watch. And so I don't think it's crazy that, Valid Victorian is going to say something and they're going to get fucking booed off stage, or they're going to fucking get security off stage. Or whoa, could you imagine that? And that's going to spark some shit. Or but I mean like real life Kent State shit. Where the fucking, not the Coast Guard, what am I trying to say? The state people, what the fuck am I trying to say? Fuck. Show up, and I'm not going to say kill people, but shit gets real. So not full Kent State, but we're looking at a Kent State character here with this square. Do I want to say where? Yale or Princeton sticks out to me. I'm not sure why. Then we have our free space. After that, Google gets hit with a surveillance lawsuit. It was like a year ago right now. It was either late 2023 or early 2024. Google paid somewhere in the 300 millions in a data breach lawsuit. A bunch of like hundreds of millions of users' data got leaked. 300 million? Or it couldn't have been hundreds of millions of users if they only got 350 million that they had to pay out. Whatever the numbers were, right? Google's got to be due for that. Everyone's like, oh, Google, they're listening to us on our phones and on our what's the Google version of Alexa and on our fucking TVs and shit. And Google's like, fuck that, dog. We're in the walls. All that fiber optic shit that you got running through your house, we're in there. Like, for real. What's up? We're in the walls. Yeah, we got these like crazy sensors and shit, and like we got everything on you. Like, for real. That maybe turns into if that happens, it'll be class action for sure. Bill Belichick goes to the NFL up next. Again, this was one of the easy ones, like for sure. I think, because the only two ways, because like they're not going to fire him. Originally, this square was going to be Bill Belichick isn't the coach at North Carolina by 2026, by like New Year's Day 2026. So that way I had the bases covered on if he gets fired or if he just jumps to the NFL, like whatever it is. But he's just not going to get fired. It really just comes down to, okay, so he brought his son for sure. Bill kind of sets everything up, and then he gets the comfy NFL job that he's looking for a year from now in North Carolina. Maybe they go like 9-3. I have no idea what the best case scenario looks like for them. I don't know anything about the roster, the transfer portal. Who knows how that's going to go with Belichick? Do you really believe he's going to be going into living rooms? That's probably not even how it works. I wonder how that works, the transfer portal meetings and shit. Because recruiting is when you'd like go to their house. If you're Jim Harbaugh, like, dog, you'd have a fucking sleepover with them. Like, seriously. I wonder how those relationships play out in the transfer portal. But anyways, maybe it goes well and then he gives the job to his son, right? Or, I don't know, maybe the right job still isn't there. He, again, does well or is doing something foundational at North Carolina. And it's like, let me run this back one more year because I know next year this opening. I don't know. It feels like there's a few ways this could go, but all of them lead to, or, well, not what I just laid out, but I think it's more likely that this is just a stepping stone in order for him to get back into the NFL. Up next, this was, Maddie wanted to put this on here. Maddie wanted to put a couple of these on here. She wanted everybody to know that another CEO is going to get assassinated. She didn't want to call any shots. The State Farm one, really stuck out to her after what's going on in California. All these homes burned down. Now insurance claims are being like canceled. The prices are going to skyrocket. From what I understand, I was explaining this to Maddie earlier. She kind of made me second guess myself, but so I'll just say it, and if somebody needs to correct me, they'll correct me, because I know some of you live in California. I don't know if you're homeowners, though. The homeowners insurance rates in California are actually sneaky, like, not bad. Like, comparatively to, like, what you would think that it would be. And so them to skyrocket is, first of all, makes sense, right? I'm sure if somebody was here to be like, well, no, it's actually bad because of this. I'm sure it's like inhumane and all that. Sure. But that makes sense though, right? Like economically, most of our revenue is going to come from, well, not, I guess there's San Francisco. The amount of fucking times that I try to like make mental notes on shit that I'm saying as it's happening is insane. And I will just completely, I will turn 30 seconds of saying something into 5 minutes because I'll be like, well, this thing. Well, I guess not technically this thing because this thing and this thing. And I'm losing my fucking mind. I tried to tell you that it was going to take me forever to get through this thing because of how much thought I had to put into it. Fuck me. The Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. This is also a repeat. We are bringing this one back. And it's one of those ones that, you try to evenly distribute these throughout the year. They could happen at any point, right? We need one that could happen like now. like immediately. The Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl thing, another one of those ones that we can get it out of the way quick. What stinks though is when if it doesn't happen, you spend a whole year looking at that space being like, I've completely fucked that up for the rest of it. You know what I mean? So that piece of it sucks. I'm not going to explain it. I don't need to. I think if it's going to happen, you know what I mean? Seems like it should be this year. Up next, Shohei Ohtani does an entire podcast in English. It would be about goddamn fucking time, because he's been lying this whole time. Not the whole time, but I don't know what to believe with this guy. I don't know. But like, he speaks English. We hear it all the time. Remember the World Series during the parade and he eventually gets the mic and he gets to start speaking? The motherfucker is speaking English. And there was like a whoa in the crowd. They were like, whoa, Shohei Ohtani speaking English. This translator shit was like a ploy to just like have a pal to like speak Japanese with. And when it was Ipe Mizahara, it actually helped that he was also Japanese and not just like some fucking guy, not like some team appointed, like, all right, he's not going to try to steal your money and buy expensive baseball cards and potentially be a lover. We just don't know. We don't know. Although Shohei Ohtani, congrats to him and his wife because they're having a baby. That's amazing. That is going to be the most athletic kid to come out of Japan since... Was Ichiro athletic? Or was... Well, he was fast as fuck. So yeah, just by virtue of that, using speed as a vehicle, yes, Ichiro was an athlete, and he was for his entire career, which was like forever. It was like 30 damn years. Isn't it with Ichiro that... Well, I said most athletic since Ichiro. How about Shohei Ohtani? But didn't Ichiro have, between the two leagues that he played in Japan and the MLB, didn't he have like 5,000 hits? Like, he like blew Pete Rose out of the water. Someone will fact check me on that one. Up next, Taylor and Travis get engaged. Yeah, I mean, come on. Last year I said get married. I just knew immediately. I was like, because I thought it was, I bought into the hype. I thought it was going to happen at the Super Bowl. I did. But I would also roll that over into this year if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. I'm not ruling out that he will propose to her. I'm not ruling that out. I think she is still, at her core, a Tumblr-coded millennial. And that still comes through to this day, by the way, through her music and like what she posts on social media. And he is also like a very by the book, like, yeah, kind of fucking guy. This is like the quintessential embodiment of like what the Disney high school, like two most popular people, the football star, the cool girl relationship. This is like what it is, right? And so for them to have a moment where he proposes to her at the Super Bowl, I was going to say, well, whoa, holy shit. What? Okay, if it's the Lions and the Chiefs, only one of these can happen. Because either the Lions win the Super Bowl, and then Travis definitely does not propose to Taylor, or the Chiefs win, and then the Lions don't win the Super Bowl. That space is gone. But Travis might, and that's the thing, italicized, might propose to Taylor. Yikes. Did not do that one on purpose, but that's fun. Up next, more pop culture. Tom Holland and Zendaya get pregnant. Maddie felt good about this one. I thought it might be a little bit early, but I trust her. I trust her judgment. I trust her gut. Recently engaged. Like very recently, like fresh engaged. Tom Holland's still fucking talking about the fact that he cut alcohol out of his life. Yeah, man, I just realized that I was purchasing a beverage to make me feel like I belonged. Cool. That's very profound, and that is very beautiful, and maybe at one point in my life I will reflect on those words, and I will find comfort in them. But right now I'm like, dog, this era of celebrities constantly just like selling shit to us. I don't, like, your Spider-Man brother, you're Tom Holland, you're amazing, right? But like, shut up. It's been 6 months, if not more, of him pushing this non-alcoholic beer. Fucking chill out. but congrats on the engagement and a is this be a preliminary congratulations? A pre-congratulations on the new baby. Tomzaya. Up next, let's go back to Eastern Europe. Vladimir Putin has Parkinson's again. Parenthetically, again. Yeah, this one just came from, for like 10, 15 years, Western publications at least once a year will be like, Vladimir Putin is sick. Something is wrong with him. I think that he has Parkinson's. It's always the way that he grips a chair or that he like holds his own hand. Maybe he's bouncing his leg or holding his leg from bouncing. It's always something that they fucking psychoanalyze and they're like, this guy has Parkinson's. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. But every time that this happens, like he always kind of like goes out and you always see him walking around and you see him like doing a bunch of shit that like proves that like, okay, he's probably, maybe he's got some shit going on, but it's always Parkinson's. I'm saying Parkinson's specifically because if we hear about this, him being sick, that will be in the headline. But we didn't really hear that in 2024, which is weird because it was I don't know, with exception to the year prior to that and like 2014, maybe one of the Trump years too, the most focus that has ever been on him in his entire political life. And nobody said that he had Parkinson's. I just thought that was weird. Up next, Cooper Flagg is a New Orleans Pelican. Yeah, that's a Babe Ruth shot call right there. I think it's kind of in the air. I think that the Pelicans are going to do it again because we are at yet another stalemate with the Pelicans and like success. Like the Venn diagram, no, that joke isn't going to work. What's the least like at Smoothie King Center? Are we in trouble there? Are we doing okay with that? Because the last time this happened, talk about something. This is an anecdote I feel like I've fucking run into the ground at this point. All I'm saying is the last time that the Pelicans were in big ultra sad mode and they knew that they were going to have to trade Anthony Davis, they magically were awarded the number 1 pick in the draft the year that Zion Williamson was there. Gail Benson doesn't have to move and all this bullshit. Okay, well, the Pelicans are in big ultra sad mode again, and they're just going to have to sell everybody off, and then they're not going to have anything. But New Orleans makes a lot of money. It makes a lot of money for the NBA. Are they going to get a guy who, 2 years ago we have the Victor Wembanyama draft, and then this previous year, very famously, like the most like, what the fuck is this? Draft that we've had since like 2000, seriously. And they got sandwiched in between Victor Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg. And Cooper Flagg, another one of those guys. We've been hearing about him for about as long as we've been hearing about Wembanyama. So what, 3-4 years? Maybe a little bit longer than that? Yeah, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years, maybe. So we know who Cooper Flagg is. And I admittedly haven't seen anything he's done in like the last, I don't know, probably since like Christmas. I have no idea. But before that, every time I saw clips or every time I saw the bottom ticker, my eyes connected to my brain. They went, zip, zip, sent some fucking zaps and were like, good. Guy seems pretty good. He's going to end up on the Pelicans. I thought about doing a whole thing about like Tank Watch. And we do like I don't know. It's not even worth explaining the idea because I'm just not going to execute it. Just monitoring all the teams that stink and doing math at the end of the season to figure out like, okay, who's he do like full Charlie Kelly meme with the board. Up next, foreign object invades American airspace, parenthetically, again. This one is specifically about drones, which we could, in a month, look back and be like, oh, yeah, remember when drones were a thing? That could completely be out of the, like, oh, yeah. Like, we could already be on to, like, 6 other things at that point. But also, we're talking, like, balloon Well, like the weather balloon that was over the United States, and then it got off the coast of South Carolina, and they were like, "Bata, bata," and they just zapped that shit out of the sky. There's also some stuff that went down. Remember when stuff went down and it was either Alaska or Canada? A little bit after the balloon thing happened, I think is when it was. And then they were like, yeah, it's just in like a super dense area, like forest. And there's no way for us to get there. So it's like taking a long time to like get this extraction team out there. And so because of that, like camera crews couldn't get out there. That's fucking weird. That's a little weird. And then they get out there and they're like, yeah, we like can't find that much of it. That's weird. It's weird that we can't find that much of it. And then the news people were like, okay, so we should just go. And they were like, yeah, we'll keep looking, but we'll call you guys if we find anything. And then the news people like checked back in like the next day. They were like packing up. They were like, no, nothing to see here. It's fucking, I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest. I don't, okay, so Nick, so what does that mean? What are they, I don't even know. That means I'm just saying the way that it was covered was weird. It was hard to figure out, like, so they know what it was. This related to the balloon? Because that was the same time that David Grush is talking to fucking Congress about aliens and shit. And this is a guy that we were listening to at the time. Like, whoa, this guy goes on Rogan. Oh, this guy. No, he didn't. The thing was that he very famously like wasn't going on Rogan. That's what it was. And I think he eventually may have. But Rogan was like, I'm not interested in talking to that guy. And it was like, fine. Fucking fine. Drone or balloon, something will be up there. Something weird. Also thought about putting like a drone kills a civilian, and then the government has to scramble to do like parallel construction and figure out who they're going to blame this on. Who fucking, like, you're going to say nobody, we don't know who was operating this. Okay, so either a foreign entity launched a fucking drone from the ocean and killed a civilian. All right, we're going to war. Or the United States government or one of its intelligence agencies killed a civilian, but it just felt like a full court heave. That felt like a 90-footer with 0.3 on the clock, so I don't even get to do a full heave. I just have to do like a volleyball spike, basically, at the net. Did not feel plausible. Up next, only have two more, folks, and we're going to keep it in the Kennedy family for this one. Something weird involving the JFK files. Something weird. Something that makes you go, huh? We did the mental exercise earlier of like, what would you really do? Like, how would you really react if Joe Biden died? You'd be like, okay, wow, crazy. Okay, if we find out that the government was involved, concrete, there is declassified documents that come out. Who was Trump talking to when he was like, the reason that you haven't seen the JFK files declassified is because they involve people who are still alive. And so once those people die, maybe we can get some shit unsealed. It's like, whoa, okay, so that insinuates that the government was involved, as most people at this point have come to suspect that the United States government was involved in killing its own president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Okay, so you find out that that's true. I don't think it, like, what is the social impact of that? What are the ramifications? That's what I would be interested to see. I would care much less about having that confirmed for us or some version of that story being confirmed for us. Mainly just that it wasn't just some fucking guy who was a communist sympathizer and like that's kind of it. And it hit like the greatest heat checks that anybody has ever hit in their fucking life. Like, absolutely not. I think most of us would just be like, uh-huh. But I think the people that it would affect deeply are like the paranoid ones. And so like, how do they respond to that? Do they have like God forbid there's like still a QAnon militia out there? Because if they find out that its own government killed one of its presidents, they're going to look back at the Trump assassination. The one that was actually real, not the fucking Ukraine nut who was like hiding in a bush for like a day. Not that guy, but the kid who was on the roof. They're going to look back on that and then people start to do the fucking, oh, well, he was a registered Democrat. He's a registered Republican. But it literally doesn't matter. That literally has nothing to do with anything. But to those people, it does. The identity politics piece of it does matter. And so they're going to then they're going to be like, oh, well, so that had to have been the government too. That kid was that like 15-year-old kid was an intelligence asset for the United States, for Joe Bizzle. You guys see the thing of at Jimmy Carter's funeral, Kamala Harris sitting in front of Trump, and they just like, I didn't see that much interaction. I just can't imagine how brutal that must have been. It had similar vibes to when Hillary had to go to Trump's inauguration because she's a former first lady, so she still had to be there because her mans was the former POTUS. Kind of had the same energy. Also, like Obama doing like legit laughs, like not bullshit laughs. I get he's a politician at this point. He's been in the game for fucking 20 years as a politician. Like, I get that he probably has a really, really convincing fake laugh for sure. But I'm just telling you, him and Trump are sitting real close in that pew to one another. Is Obama kind of turning into like all right, maybe this guy is fucking funny? Is that what's happening? Obama becoming a Donald Trump guy. Whoa. I would love to know, like NFL style, mic those guys up. What the fuck could they have possibly been talking about? George Bush was also in attendance, took a brief break from his painting, and decided to check out Jimmy Carter one last time. Be like, what's up? What's up, James? Where are you going? Why are they putting you down there? Hey, James, why am I I'm like devolving. My George Bush is turning into a Joe Biden. What if I just put a little twang on it? Is that the same thing? Is that the key to I'm going to say this before I test it. The key to a George Bush impression is Joe Biden with a little bit of twang. Let me try it really quick. I'm not cutting this. As the old saying goes. As the old saying goes. I can't fucking do it. I'll have to do this one off the air. I'll workshop this one with my son. When we're just like hanging out, he'll be in his bounce or something. Maybe I'm feeding him. I'll just like work on some impressions. I can't get Trump. I cannot get the impression down. The amount of times that he's seen me try that, I always just, the impression that I always just resort to when I just can't do any is I just go like Italian, or we do like, we do a little bit of mostly just Italian. Do a lot of Italian in this house. Folks, in the last square on the Motown Noah 2025 bingo sheet, Donald Trump breaks up with RFK. Yeah, I said we were going to do two more Kennedy ones to finish it off. Yeah, Trump and RFK. There's going to be something that happens with Elon. I don't know if the trio, if that breakup happens all together, and I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I just wanted to make it clean cut. Either it happens or it doesn't. But the RFK Trump marriage from the jump was like, that's not fucking real. This isn't real. So I don't know what the tipping point is going to be. That'll be interesting to monitor. Like, at what point does RFK do something? Like, the way that Elon is kind of getting in the asses of, like, all the MAGA people. So, like, half of them are like, fuck Elon, actually. Actually, this guy fucking stinks. Because Elon is like, no, we want to build, like, a dream team of immigrants. And we should let the good ones in. And everyone's like, what the hell? No. What the? Elon, no. And Elon's like, no, like, it'll be fun. We need them to, like, build cooler rockets and shit. And people are like, what the hell? No. Elon, no. What does RFK have to do? You know what I mean? What does that look like? Because it's not going to be something medicine related. Although, I don't know. Have I said this on the show before? Trump's whole thing with medicine confuses me. What a fucking Mad Lib that was. But he was the one who was like, Operation Warp Speed. We need to get these vaccines out pronto. And that was like his whole deal. Beginning of COVID, Operation Warp Speed. We're going to have the biggest and the best vaccine available to our citizens. Fast forward a year. Yeah, we had it. We had vaccines. Trump was like, nobody fucking did that better than me. Like, for real. That was all me. But then that same vaccine began to like infringe on the rights of his supporters as they perceived it to be. And so then the vaccine like got weaponized against him. And he was like, actually, it's the worst vaccine. And whatever he said about bleach. And he completely disowned it. He said, I had nothing to do with that. That was Dr. Fauci and the fucking libs. That was like AOC. What is that? That has nothing to do with anything. What does she have to do with any of this? That's who it was. It was Nancy Pelosi. All right. Completely rejected it. It's not my child anymore. So, like, what really could RFK do? It doesn't matter I guess that's the take, is it doesn't matter. I don't know if I believe this. I was going to say it does not matter what Trump thinks. It's what affects the way that he's viewed. So, like, do I think he would do something that he doesn't want to do because he knows from, like, an approval standpoint and having more people in his hive, in his standship, that's the end game. That's all that matters. I don't know. I think he's sucked it up plenty of times. Surely he's sucked it up plenty of times. Yeah, that wouldn't be that crazy. A lot of buzzword salad recently regarding, and let me wrap that up. That's the 2025 Moton Noah bingo sheet, ladies and gentlemen. God damn, that took a long time, didn't it? That was the whole show today. It's a good thing I gave you guys a bonus episode, I guess. I feel really bad that this took as long as it did. A lot of buzzword salad going on. Imperialism, sort of the word of the week. Yeah, so Trump is like, Canada, what's up? What's up? Canada pooped their pants in the Hockey World Juniors, and the United States won. And the consequence of that was Trudeau had to fucking resign. He's like, I cannot be the prime minister if our juniors fucking stink this bad. Holy shit. We lost to America? Well, they didn't lose to us. That's not how it worked. I think Canada is just like fucking, they didn't make it to the championship. They sucked. So Trudeau out. Canada now looking for Canada's on like Love is Blind. NATO edition. Who wants us for real? Donald Trump is like, they asked him if he would use military intervention to annex Canada. That was the question. That was the way that it was, to annex Canada. I guess that doesn't denote that it's the entirety of Canada. It could be like fucking Saskatchewan. They could just do like Ontario or something, you know? He goes, no, we'll use economic force. Oh, okay. He was like, we don't need their logs. He's like, we have more lumber than them, and our lumber is better. I would push back on we have more. I don't think there's no fucking shot that that's true. There's no shot that Canada doesn't have more trees than us. There's no way. Once you get into the halfway point of Canada, you go up. If that, by the way, there's fucking nothing. There's nothing going on at all. All right, we don't need their lumber. Okay. He said, we also don't need their cars. He said, we'd rather just build our cars in Detroit. All right. Well, all right. That's very kind of you. Sure. Okay, fine. That makes it more expensive though, right? Well, but it would not be that much cheaper to do it in Canada, because also you still have to export them or import them. From whose perspective am I speaking? That is the question. And then the other piece of this is Greenland. They're like, we want to be independent. Greenland's like, fucking leave us alone. Is it Denmark? Is it Denmark that owns them? They're like, you're ours, Greenland. Now they're like, we want to be independent, so that I think they want to join. They don't want to join the EU. That's what it is they depend on the relationship with Denmark, because then they get some of that EU goodness. That's what it is. And by the United States purchasing them, what does that look like on paper? So the guy that I would bump into if I went to Greenland, whose name was like Fjord Berkmikeston, does he just turn into like Kyle Shepard? Like, what does that guy's name become? Or is he still Danish? Or he's greenish? Whoa. What are you called if you're from Greenland? Whoa. This is a certified Siri moment, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Siri, what is the nomenclature for people born in Greenland? Greenlanders. Oh, okay. That's not nearly as fun as I thought it was going to be. It actually just ended up making more sense than anything. It actually made me end up going, oh, yeah, that actually makes sense. Kind of stonewalled the whole thing. That was a certified South Korean plane moment right there from your boy. Alrighty, folks. Well, if you're listening to this episode on Spotify listeners, Jesus, dropping the ball with you guys. What a insane week this was. We went to the aquarium today. Took our son to the aquarium. And even though it was like, we know he's not old enough to like remember this or like really process that much of it. A, we wanted to get out of the house and just like do something as a fucking family. B, it was Chicago residents get to go for free day. So like, sure, we got nothing going on. And then C, he's still old enough that he would be able to interact with some of the stuff. He sure did. Yeah, he was mostly unimpressed. The problem was we showed him all the big fish first. Because that's just, we hadn't been to the aquarium here in Chicago since they renovated it last year, like a year and a half ago. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars tearing the place up on the inside, completely redoing the place. Not really completely redoing it. Some interior tweaks. So like some habitats and stuff. The exterior had a lot of shit going on. I don't know what's going on out there. But it was cool. Yeah, we just showed them all the big fish first because that's just kind of what the path had you do. And they saw like an arapaima that was fucking 15 feet long and like 800 pounds. It's wild, dog. There's two of them swimming around. And then saw some gar. That was cool. He mainly reacted to the clownfish and the whatever dory is, because the tank that they were in was also super blue. Like super blue is very stimulating to him. And we had just watched Finding Nemo yesterday. So I don't know if there was any like association like, oh, fuck, that was, which is probably how he would say it in his head. He'd be like, oh, shit, what the hell? That's the dude I fucking saw on TV yesterday. And we'd be like, chill. Yes, that is, but like, chill. Spotify listeners, Pixar. Been watching a lot of Pixar movies lately. Watched Ratatouille. Like I said, watched Finding Nemo. Watched WALL-E. May have been another one in there. We're in the middle of rewatching Monsters, Inc. Haven't seen that one in a really, really long time. Up is going to be next. Been waiting to watch Up. WALL-E was my pick. Up is my pick, too. I want to watch Up so bad. I haven't seen it in so long, and the first, 10 minutes are just going to murder me. Although, fuck me, the first 10 minutes of Finding Nemo, dog, holy shit, that's brutal. As a kid, it, made me sad. I remember it making me sad, because that movie came out 2003, I think. And I remember we were at the theater seeing Finding Nemo. It was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. We're at the theater, and a tornado is coming. And a woman, we're just watching the movie. I'm 5 years old, straight up. If that was 4 or 5. She runs into the theater, and she was like, tornado. She's yelling, tornado. She's like, get under your seats. We were like, what the hell? I'm 5. I'm literally 5. I think Twisters had already come out, and I had seen that movie, and I was fucking terrified of tornadoes. All right? False alarm. We were down there for 5 minutes. Whoops, false alarm. Nope. And then got to see the rest of Finding Nemo as a child. Watching it. I've seen it a million times since, but it's been a couple years. So yeah, watching that. Spotify listeners, Pixar movies. Give me your Pixar movie. If you want to do your Mount Rushmore, you can. If you want to give me 2, however many you want to give me. But yeah, at least got to put your favorite one. Give me your favorite one. Apple Podcast listeners, I see you guys. Well, you don't see me. I see you guys, though. You hear me. I get to see you guys as just a bunch of little data points in the little interface here. If you're listening to this on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, nice little comment for the algorithm. Make sure to keep primary control in check. And I will catch you guys in the next one.